I always was very interested in religion, cultural places, archaeology, architecture, and being a European, I have visited many of these places. I also did charity work out in Israel and the West Bank when I was 15, 16, up to sort of 20. And I originally thought I was going to go work for the United Nations and work for Middle East peace. So I always knew that I wanted to set some kind of stories around these melting pots of religion. And yet I could not see how I could do this. I mean, one of my favorite books earlier on was The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco. And so I had that in my mind as the type of book I should write, that sort of literary fiction book that still had an edge of religious mystery. And then when the Da Vinci Code came out, and of course was such a huge hit, I realized that you could write a mainstream thriller around religious conspiracy. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's what I want to write. So I took what was originally an idea about the bodies of the apostles. I'm pretty obsessed with religious relics and bones and crypts and ossuaries and all of this. So I was like, what if the bones of the apostles and the stones that they might have worn as a symbol of their brotherhood got sort of lost around the world? And then what if they're now being put together? And so this was an idea. And it turns out I did actually find the idea in my journal a few years later after I wrote the book. And I was like, oh my goodness, that has been percolating around in my head for a while. But also I really wanted to write a sort of secret agency, and which is under Trafalgar Square. The Arkane base is under Trafalgar Square in London. And I wanted to have a sort of ongoing episodic series, a bit again like James Rollins' Sigma series, so that my alter ego Morgan Sierra could essentially solve mysteries around the world. And every single book is based on my travels. So, for example, Destroyer of Worlds, I've traveled in India, and that's got scenes like at the Taj Mahal and Kumbh Mela and places like that. And so I'm hugely into my research. I love book research, and my actual travels are the basis of much of what I write. Morgan Sierra, I really call my alter ego. She is a secret agent, I guess. She's a clinical psychologist who's come out of the Israeli military. And because the Israeli military, they do a martial arts called Krav Maga. And so I was like, well, it's quite natural she would have that, and she'd be able to shoot, and she'd be able to have these skills that will help her when she becomes an agent of Arkane. And Arkane investigates these supernatural mysteries around the world. And Morgan doesn't start out as an agent. She gets recruited after her sister is kidnapped and her niece, and used in this nefarious plot to try and destroy the world. And essentially people try and destroy the world in every single one of my books, and people have to save them. I feel like that and the good versus evil vibe is the essence of a thriller, the kind of thrillers that I really like anyway. But yeah, Morgan Sierra, she has definitely an edge of me. Maybe all our characters do, but secretly, when we live quite I guess a boring life as writers, I live in Bath in the UK. It's like, well, what if I could travel around the world solving all these mysteries? So she thinks about religion. She's a bit of a skeptic, but she sees enough currently there's 12 books and some short stories. She sees enough that she believes in this other side of things, something beyond the veil. But and although she was brought up in Israel by her Jewish father, she is not Jewish. She doesn't believe in that God, but aspects of Judaism, Christianity, a lot of different religions come into all of the books. I started writing the book in 2009 because someone challenged me and said, it seems like you've got a block around writing fiction. And I was like, whoa, no, I can rise to that challenge. I can get my book out there. And that took around 14 months to write and get out into the world. But what's interesting is we're recording this in 2023, and in early 2022, which was just over a decade since it came out, I actually rewrote that book. I did an edit. So after I'd finished 12 books, I rewrote that first one. And it was kind of difficult because, like you say, you look at your first book and you realize you've come a long way in terms of your craft. But also, I still loved it. And so the story's still the same. I just edit it for kind of craft reasons. But I guess also over the 12 books and more than a decade of writing that series, I've really got to know my characters more. So when I was writing back into the dialogue, for example, I'd be like, Morgan Jane wouldn't say that. Why did I think she would have said that? And so I updated some of the things, and obviously some language has changed since then. But it was actually a lot of fun revisiting those books, and it gave me a whole load more ideas for more stories. So I'm definitely 12 books in, but with more to go.